I remember making videos on topics like sunlight and stuff like that. Basically, when I was in college, I was sitting in the study rooms, right? There's like a room where you can study at, right? There are like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 tables, like small room, right? Basically, just for people that want to have like a quiet time to study, maybe chill and eat, whatever, right? And I used that time, like when I was having a break in between my classes, to just sit down and for like an hour and a half, just try to eat, right? Have my tablet on. Half of the tablet was my notes, where I used to write like with my pen, right? And the other half is basically an Andrew Huberman podcast. And I used to watch like the whole thing, right? All the way through 2 hours and just write down the notes, the key points, the way that I understood them, right? So much in a much simpler way, and also just trying to implement my own language in it, right? But that was the wrong way to go. I was doing all this just to make more videos on YouTube, right? So I was making videos like once a week at that point. So basically, the whole video idea was me copying Andrew Huberman, writing down the notes, stuff like that, and then just saying what he was saying, but like in my own slang, you could say. And that was the wrong way to go. That's what I'll do right now. I'll teach you how you can synthesize properly. And I actually have a whole Notion template for you, which can really help you improve and just get started on this thing, right? And just improve your synthesizing. Yo, my name is Aris, and I'm a leader of young men trying to improve their looks and improve their attractiveness, just level up their networking, stuff like that, just so that they can improve and get to their goals 10 times faster than the average person. Click the first link in the description to join the free community so that you can network with other like-minded men inside. Also subscribe for me to make more videos like this. There are still people out there giving advice on topics they don't fucking understand and they're not credible at. Like they don't have experience at those certain things, certain topics, right? And they're still making videos. Like, for example, I know like a 12-year-old trying to make videos on avoiding women when like you haven't gotten to that stage yet, my boy. So why the fuck are you making these videos, right? Of course, that's not really a problem, right? Everyone is going through that mistake of, just trial and tribulation, trying to find the right exact thing to do, right? Of course, like everyone is making mistakes, right? I'm not like perfect or whatever. I've done the same exact mistake. And that's why I'm saying that you shouldn't be doing this, because it really reminds me of the professors in the universities, like the business professors, where they're teaching you how to start your own business and stuff like that. Most of them have never had their own business, which neither succeeded or failed, because if you think about it logically, I don't think anybody would be a professor, right? Just working that shitty part, like the full-time job, whatever, 9 to 5, if they had a successful business. So it makes sense, right? Of course, like if they had a failed business, that's like way better than having nothing, no experience. Most professors just like learn the theories from the textbooks, but they don't really apply that in their life. Basically, they're teaching what they have learned from the book, but they never experienced that in their life. And that's the very bad thing, right? That's why a lot of people are so behind. They're going on fucking business majors or whatever, right? And they still don't gain enough experience or like knowledge for the real world, because that's bullshit. How can you get advice from someone who doesn't fucking know what you want to do? Like, I don't know, just fucking stupid in my opinion. That's what I don't want other people to repeat, because that's like a big mistake. Being, I don't know, fucking 14 years old, talking about investing in crypto and stocks and, being a professional, for example, right? When you have never even put money in there, you don't even have enough money to put in there for stuff like that, right? That's stupid, bro. Nobody's gonna listen to you. That's why people are like so against gurus and stuff like that, a lot of the times, right? Because it's like, what? Of course, like it makes sense. They don't fucking know what they're talking about. Maybe they're full of shit, stuff like that. They're just scammers. Makes sense, right? And if you don't know what you're talking about, you look like even more of a scammer and a dumb. Sorry for this long rant, but I really wanted to just point out how important it is to look into that stuff, like experience the actual advice what we're getting, going through that, right? Just experiencing it ourselves, getting that credibility and showing people the credibility, like that end result, not showing people what we've just like learned from a video, which they can watch themselves, right? There's not like huge of a difference. You're basically like a translator. There's not really much a difference. You're not teaching anybody anything else, right? So the first thing that you should be doing to start the whole process of synthesizing is learn about something that you find interesting. When you're gonna be learning about something, right? For example, it's about cars, okay? You really love learning about cars, mechanics, stuff like that, right? Everything. What you should be doing is getting books, watching podcasts, watching, I don't know, shows which are about, car mechanics, maybe documentaries, everything that has to do with you learning more about that. Even going out and experiencing yourself. Maybe going out to your dad's, I don't know, just like a mechanic shop, whatever, right? Or going to somebody's mechanic shop and asking if you can get a job there, or like getting some experience. Do some internship maybe, I don't fucking know, just try to help, try to get an experience. Go in there with a student mindset and just go part-time, just start learning, bro. It's way better to do that rather than sitting at home and watching a few videos and then telling people how to do that, like how to fix our car, when you have never done that yourself. You don't know the details, stuff like that. It's stupid, bro. Sit your ass down for at least a few months and just learn. Books after book, podcast after podcast, documentaries, and getting all that fucking knowledge and executing. That's what's gonna get you to the next level, right? Of course, the second step is like, experiencing, going to the mechanic, asking for help, whatever, right? Trying that advice in real life, right? So let's say, for example, right? The thing I was talking about before was about Andrew Huberman and the sunlight, about cholesterol, stuff like that. You have to get some sunlight in your face for the first 10 minutes of the day. I remember I was trying to teach that to people, but I've never actually tried it, right? Of course, now I'm trying it. I'm doing it like every single day for weeks now. But the point is that at that point I wasn't. And I was trying to teach people on how to do it and why it was beneficial and stuff like that. But I didn't know shit. If you try it, like for example me, right now I've tried it, right? There are some mini problems that come up. So for example, what if you don't have windows? Or what if it's sunny? What if it's this? What if it's that? And then you find a way to adjust it so that it works for you. And that's where all the experience and learning comes in. Because when you make a video and you don't know about, you haven't gone through like experience, you're just gonna say the same thing that Andrew Huberman says, or like whoever you're listening to has said, right? But you don't know what actually works for you, or what actually could work for somebody who is in the same position as you. So you're gonna be saying things way differently if you think about it that way, right? It makes so much sense. Just go out and try it, right? Write down the things that you are learning, like the advice, stuff like that. Find ways to try that, to implement that. Maybe it's habits, maybe it's experiences, maybe it's like trips, whatever, right? Something that has to do with implementing it in your life. Maybe it can take weeks, maybe it'll take like 1 day, 1 minute, doesn't matter, right? Just execute as much as possible, right? Find the information and then execute. And then after that, once you gain experience, or once you get it to work, or once you've tried it like 5-6 times and it doesn't work, that's still worthy of you sharing the experience. Because you can say, oh, this is like a busted myth, it doesn't work, right? I've tried getting out in the sunlight for 10 minutes a day and my stress is still up and whatever, like a small example, right? You're gonna have to go through it to find out if it actually works or not. And that's when people are gonna be watching and be interested in what you're saying, because he knows what he's talking about, like he's done it, he has like a video of himself doing it, or I don't know, maybe like pictures, maybe he's talking about the stories that he went through. And that's what you need the stories, you need the experience. How are you gonna get people to listen to you when you're not gonna have the experience and anything else like that? That's fucking stupid to expect that, right? You might be thinking that, but I haven't tried a lot of stuff and it doesn't really work, I don't know how it works. There are just so many people trying to find excuses and ways to not do this stuff, right? And just skip and whatever, right? In my opinion, if you want to be like a YouTuber, you want to have experience, maybe be like a fitness coach, something like that, right? You're gonna have to go through all the diets, you're gonna have to go through all the different like calisthenics, bodybuilding, like powerlifting, stuff like that, right? You're gonna have to go through all that, supplements, just try out different stuff to see, of course, like there's a difference, like what might work for you might not work for another person, right? So it depends, of course, but the point is that you're much closer to that point of helping others when you know that you have tried 10 things rather than trying 1 or 0. You are at a much better position, because like, especially if you tried like a couple of tactics here and there and here and there and here, 2 of them work and like 8 of them don't work, but then you know which ones don't work and you know which ones work, and that's when you're gonna actually teach that to people. And whenever somebody comes up to you and says, oh, I actually tried it like this and I'm doing this the exact same way that you have tried it before a few months ago or like years ago, right? And then you're coming up to them, you're telling them, oh yeah, I remember doing that actually, and that's wrong. What I would suggest you to do is try to do this and this and this, not like this, right? And you basically tell them there's a better way to do this because you actually went through it. You have went through way more mistakes than the average person, and someone who like is a beginner at this. And that's the beautiful thing, because you have to be 2-3 steps ahead of the person who you're giving advice to. If I have the results, if I've actually tried stuff like that, if I've actually started pursuing it, stuff like that, right? People who actually are interested in that certain topic will come to me, ask me about this, just maybe even pay me like courses, stuff like that, right? Just because I have actually implemented it in my life. One nice thing that I really like to do is just, experiencing life, going out one each week, and maybe like an adventure, maybe trying out different expeditions, like, have marathon, stuff like that. I really want to get into that as well. And in my opinion, just implementing your interest in stuff like that, like in expeditions like that, can really help you just have a nice accomplishment. Yeah, you may be the guy that fixes cars or whatever, right? But if you are the guy who fixed the car or made a car, for example, of his own that went on a race and won or whatever, something like that, right? You're gonna be so much more credible, and people are gonna wanna pay you, hop on calls with you, ask your advice on this stuff, just because you tried a bit extra, like you put way more effort into it, like a little bit more. And that's the important thing, because you have to do something that most people don't. Just by trying it out like the basic stuff. Yeah, it's cool, it's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that it's not, like, that's the basics. But trying out something more above that, just going an extra mile, getting through that fear of failure, getting through that fear of preparation, you're just being scared. That's what most people are afraid of. That's why they don't do it. But if you can get through that point and actually surpass and go, even if you fail, you're gonna have some crazy stories to tell. You're gonna be that guy who tried to win a race with your own car or something like that, right? Maybe you fixed the car of somebody famous and boom, like he won the race, or like he almost won the race or something like that, right? The point is that you're getting so much more experience rather than the person who is just at home reading a book, maybe implementing it in his day-to-day, maybe like, it's just so much better to try out going the extra mile rather than just doing the bare minimum to learn. That's what I would suggest will really help you improve and seem, not even seem, like be more credible than the average person. Stop wasting time.